So you have two different styles of laying out a audio system in 70 volt. One of them is just a straight 70 volt system. I don't want to say downfalls, but one of the differences with 70 volt is the fact that we use these transformers that are in every speaker. It takes that 70 volt signal, converts it to 8 ohm, and that's what drives the woofer cone. The problem is you lose a little bass. So a lot of these commercial audio speakers will roll off around 65 hertz, 70 hertz or so. So the lower
Got it.
frequencies tend to not be as pronounced.
Yeah.
This can be solved two ways. If it's just background music, you can just add a 70 volt subwoofer. They make them in ceiling. They make them pendant style. In fact, we have an 8-inch pendant subwoofer coming, where you would just put it in the daisy chain with all your 70 volts. So the wiring portion of it's just as simple as the rest of the speakers. It adds a little bass reinforcement.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about a bar or we're talking about somewhere where we need more bass, so we still want the large coverage and the simple installation of 2-conductor to all our speakers. But I want more bass. I want to be able, in the afternoons, when the bar starts to get a little cranking, I want to turn some bass up. In those instances, we usually use an 8 ohm subwoofer, in ceiling, floor. There's a bunch of different configurations for that. And we have an 8 ohm amplifier that's piggybacking off of our head end mixer amplifier or matrix and allowing us to get a little bit more of those low frequencies and a little more bass response in those areas.
If I want to EQ, if you will, the bar to have a little bump, is that done right in the mixer amp?
So the mixer amp's just going to give you an output, right? So the mixer amp basically has its own amplifier internally that runs the 70 volt, and then it has an RCA out. That is a constant out. You have no real way of controlling that. So you would just put your 8 ohm amplifier, commercial amplifier, and you'd run that to your subwoofers, and you would set the gains on that amp to where it equals out for you. If you wanted control over that subwoofer, or you wanted to do something more advanced to where maybe after 9 o'clock the subwoofer kicks up, that can all be done in the atmosphere system, where we now have digital control over that subwoofer channel.
Okay.
And we could do that in programming at 9 p.m. on Friday night. The speakers in the bar bump up so many dB and the subwoofer bumps up. You can do all that in programming.
Got it. But Sunday brunch, we back it back down.
Sunday brunch, no subwoofer. Just mimosas.
Fair enough. Fair enough.